Well, hi, and welcome to our staff video on how to be a great supervisor here at C3 Powerhouse. This is a valuable part of our staffing, out of our leadership, out of our coaching and development, and we're really wanting to bring out the best of the people that we supervise. I love supervising. I love the connection, the relationship. I love the coaching aspects. There's so many. It's not a necessary evil. It's a good thing that we have allocated supervisors and we meet with those people regularly. It's about being able to speak into areas of the church without being hands-on, but having our heads in the game and being across different areas. And so we do that regularly through having meetings. So I'm going to walk us through the meetings, what that looks like, the reporting, and how best to bring out the best in the ones that we are coaching and developing and supervising. So let's first of all talk about the frequency of supervisors' meetings. They should be at least monthly, and this is something that is planned in advance, that the people know, everyone knows about it at least 2 weeks, preferably a month in advance, that's locked in, scheduled in, and they know it's a supervisors meeting. It's not just a catch up, it's a supervisors meeting with an agenda, with a report, and there's advance notice with that. Ideally, you have a routine, whether it's the first Wednesday of the month or something that keeps it consistent. Of course, you're going to check in regularly outside of this as well. There's different tasks that you're giving weekly. Be a great supervisor outside of the meetings, I would suggest. So when a staff member first comes on staff, you're probably going to be checking in with them a lot more regularly, maybe even having weekly or fortnightly supervisors meetings, depends on their training and how much information they need to be set up in that role best. So I'm going to run through how our supervisors meetings can look. Preparation is the key for you and for the person that you supervise. So for me, I'm constantly making notes. I'm what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing, good things that need following up, and I'm writing that in my supervisor's notes. So I don't come to the meeting and go, oh, what do I need to cover? It's already there. I'm talking to others. I'm taking on feedback from others about this person. I'm being really clear on the areas that I want to speak in and writing that down and how best to do that. Maybe praying into it if necessary. If it's a particularly difficult conversation that you need to have, it's about getting God on you. I'm coming prepared. I'm reading reports prior to the meeting. I'm looking at how the report needs to be adjusted so it can be tweaked along the way. The better prepared I am, the better it is for everyone. So different ones of us will be task focused by nature and others will be a heart-based person. So whichever you are, you probably need to work on preparing in the other areas. So if you're a real heart person, you're going to bring the encouragement, you're going to bring the love just naturally, and you probably need to work on the accountability side, the reporting side, that part of the supervision. And conversely, if you're a task-based person, that just comes naturally to you, you're probably going to want to prepare into the love and the heart and specific encouragement that you're going to bring into the meeting. So the person you're supervising, you're going to work with them on preparing a report and being really clear on what you want in that report. And they're going to send it to you. You're going to ask for them to send it to you 24 hours before your supervisor's meeting. So you can have a chance to look at it and know what you're wanting to best speak into. You're wanting them to send through supporting docs with that. So whether it's rosters, it's stats, whether it's their plan, their reports, different things that you're wanting them to attach. So you're across it before you even get to the meeting. So the actual meeting itself, you're going to start with that personal connection, that encouragement. We're doing that soul to soul leading. So it's not like, okay, we've got a bunch of stuff to cover. Even if you feel time pressure, you still need to slow it down, stop, ask them how they're doing. Ideally, you have been that supervisor, great supervisor outside of meetings, so you kind of know what's going on in their world, both personally and in a work zone. So you're following up on that. You're giving them a chance to update you on things. You don't kind of want surprises from other people that you're hearing. You want to have that heart-to-heart connection. So you're building a rapport and a relationship with that person. That doesn't necessarily come instantly, that you're assigned them as you as their supervisor. So that's something that you take a little bit more time to build that relationship with. Ask about their personal life, follow up on things that they've previously mentioned. Maybe you need to make notes of that if you're not going to recall it. Celebrate with them on special occasions or work wins or personal wins. They need to feel that you love them and that you care about them. Also, just be across their work world. If they've got a lot of things on, or they've been spending a lot more hours, do they need an early mark, or do they need a little bit of time off in lieu? Just be their advocate for that. If they've shifted offices, things like that, that you're just checking in, going, how's that going for you? Or with a different staff member, just a personal connection time. Then you're going to bring that encouragement to them. You're going to thank them and show real appreciation for what they are doing, what they are bringing, the areas that they are working in. You're just going to really notice that effort and just come with that gratitude. You're focusing on the strengths that they have. You might want to pre-think this, like I said, if that's not just going to flow easily for you. And be specific about values, our team values that they're showing, and that you can really shout them out in that area. So both that public and that private affirmation and encouragement is really important. Celebrate their growth and wins in personal development and leadership. So that's the basis. That's how you start your supervisory appointment. So then you're going to move on to looking at the report. So you will have prepared some things beforehand. You will have hopefully read it if they present it, and if you had time, or you're going to have an idea what needs the most focus. So you want to know what areas that you want to speak into, and really you're trying to weave your thoughts and your direction throughout this report. So it's not like, oh, here's my big download, take it on board. It's just you're weaving different things throughout this meeting. So I would see it that it's kind of a zoom out and a zoom in meeting. So you're zooming out, you're looking at their PD, and just, is that right? Is that accurate? That's kind of like a zoom out thing. You're looking at their goals for the year, maybe their 90-day plan. That's sort of that bigger picture, and some projects that they might be working on. Maybe they're chipping away on, or maybe it just needs to stay on their radar so that it doesn't drop off. And this helps widen focus, and not just for people or you to stay on your favorite areas of input. So that's the zoom out. The other is the zoom in, and looking at getting updates on each area that this person is across. So maybe even just on the report, there's a couple of sentences, say, for example, kids in creche. It's like, kids doing really well. This has happened the last month. So a few team members have joined, dropped off, whatever. You just want to be across it. You want to know. So they're giving just a couple of lines of across an area, just helps you be across it, and highlights areas that needs attention. And also maybe there's some FYIs, there's good news, and that you want to celebrate in that, and you want to be across it. So there's just some updates on that zoom in. You're looking across the actions that you've given in the previous supervisor's meeting, and they should always have timelines on them. So it might be you need to do this by this date, and you're reviewing them, seeing them on track, and bringing accountability to that. Otherwise, it's all just good conversation, good talk, but not necessarily landed. Also on the report, you want to have a place on there for them to write their questions, or maybe things they want to discuss. Usually that is fairly task focused. It might be on their biggest challenge. You want to talk through some possible solutions, and you're coming in as coach in this. Sometimes I do it that it's a 1-for-1. I've got things I want to raise. You've got things you want to raise. You go, I'll go, 1-for-1. And that can sort of keep it moving, and then it's their turn, and things get covered off. A lot of things get covered off in that time. So when you need to raise some things, and maybe there's an area of improvement, and there even inevitably will be. So how best to handle this in a supervisory context is to ask questions. So maybe there's an issue with punctuality, and they're just not turning up to work on time, or maybe it's very hit and miss, or maybe you're not seeing it but you're hearing about it. So how are you going to bring this up? It's going to be that you're asking questions. Oh, tell me, what are the hours that you work again? Oh, right. And how's that going for you to get here? I know the mornings are really busy and crazy with home life and all the rest of it, how's that going? Oh, okay, so yeah, there's a bit of a hit and miss, and hopefully you're flushing out some thoughts that, it's such a challenge. So that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to draw it out. It's not that you're here going, you need to work on your punctuality. That's an area of growth for you. No, we're trying to draw things out and then put some suggestions in, and hey, that can be a challenge for you. Here's a challenge for you. Over the next 4 weeks, I want you to see if you can turn up to work on time, and I want you to let me know how you're going. And so you're creating this a solution that you're both working together without being a hard task master. So draw that out and weave the team values throughout it. So punctuality, that's an integrity thing, that you're going to be a person of your word and you're going to turn up on time. So this is who we are. It's a team value. So you're weaving those things throughout it. Be clear on the outcomes that you want. If, for example, there's a reason you can't get here on time and there's something's come up, you need to let me know about it, and you need to work extra time afterwards. And so be really clear on the outcomes that you want in that. So once you've done actions throughout your meeting and you've got the clear timeframes on them, make sure that they email you back on those actions within 24 hours. So there's an accurate account of what you have discussed, and it's not just, I hope you understood what I was talking about. Okay, so that's you working through your meeting agenda, and that's really good for you to be clear on. And as I said, it often does need tweaking, and you just making it work for you and the person that you're working with. So keep working on that until it really lands. You're going to use your time for coaching around values and competencies, and often that does come up in issues that you're wanting to address. You're wanting them to be aware of areas and give them a chance to say what's the biggest areas of growth for you. And we do have that culture where we encourage them to come to us, and we need to spell this out to them. What can I start doing, keep doing, stop doing? So that's a good culture that we have. And in that, again, it's a really good one to pre-think, so that you're not, oh, wow, okay, I haven't thought about it, but I've thought about what can you keep doing. That's encouraging. You're doing that so well and really loving that. What can you stop doing? Okay, I've given it some thought, this. And what can you start doing? Okay, so that's how you're weaving through some of the things you're wanting to address or implement through your coaching around values and competencies. Also, I mean, and one of those would be communication. Often that's a team value. The other one that would come up a lot is how to have a coaching conversation. And so, I mean, you're literally doing that in your supervisor's meeting, but you're of drawing people out and asking questions. And so this is where you're training those ones that you're coaching in how to do that. So they need to have a coaching conversation with a team member or someone they're supervising, and you're speaking into that and you're modeling it for them, but you're spelling out this is how you can best do it. So it is really your opportunity. I take it as an opportunity to speak into the people that I'm supervising, to train them and to impart knowledge to them. It's a lot to cover in 60 minutes, or maybe you've got 45 minutes. There's an art to being a great supervisor, and that's to keep it moving without it seeming rushed, but still focusing on those important aspects. So that's okay. It takes a little while. You're not a born ready supervisor. It is a training thing. That's why we're doing this today. And the more that you do it, the better you become at it. And as you lean into it, and it is having those coaching conversations in that environment is a real good learning area for us as supervisors. Sometimes you'll be co-supervising with another person, so making sure that you're keeping in connection with them, that you're all on the same page. If the person you're supervising has a couple of different supervisors, just making sure who's signing off on certain aspects. So that brings me to the annual leave sign off, the sick leave sign off, just making sure that they're really clear on what are their communication channels. If they're not well, it's to you as their supervisor and to the office manager. And your leave, you're signing off on it. Not just signing off, but you're encouraging them to take it. You're encouraging them to have regular holidays. A 2-week block throughout the year is highly encouraged. and you're looking at when's the best time to have it, when on the church calendar context, and also when other staff are on holiday. So you're working with them on that rather than just say, send me through your leave. It's a joint process and conversation around that. So I appreciate you taking the time to watch this training on supervisors. I know that as you lean into it and grow in it, you will learn the art of supervision, and we're very grateful for you and all that you do at C3 Powerhouse.